Hello YouTube. I was tagged by Hoople's Cat Emergency Preparedness, a fellow Canuck. Well, kinda. He's got too much of an accent really for me to say a Canuck, but I'll say a fellow Canuck. So I thought I'd do this. I spent a couple days thinking about it, and I had to, oh, that is dark. You guys aren't seeing nothing over there. We'll just look at my porch then. I spent a few days thinking about different things, and I had to rewatch a few guys' different channels to really get the questions down in my head, like Harshman Hills. Lovely answers to your questions. But, so my first thing is, what do you fear the most? Well, I can say all this lovely stuff like I'm a tough old bugger, and I don't really fear too much. But that's a lie, because every one of you fears something. But I would have to say, geographically, I would be concerned about a nuclear disaster, only because, if anybody's watched any of my videos before, I'm in southwestern Ontario. Southwestern Ontario is a bowl. Virtually northern, a lot of the northern states, several places in Canada, crosswinds will bring fallout right on top of me. I don't really consider it a great big deal, but it would be a bigger fear. But my actual biggest problem would be like a martial law or government takeover sort of thing. That's where I kind of see the issue is. And if anyone's paid attention to some of the stuff going on in Canada, our government likes to do a little big steps, taking over stuff they could really leave alone. So that would I have to say would be my biggest fear. Let me look at my sheet here. By sheet I mean scraps on a cardboard. I don't even read my own. I can't even read my own writing. What did I scribble on there? So, oh, sorry. I short formed it for myself. So I guess the second question is, if there was an economic collapse, what kind of skills and trade do you have to prepare yourself for that situation? Well, one, I do raise bees. I have honey. I have livestock. I have eggs. So I do have several commodities. I also have several skills, firewood, all sorts of stuff. I do have readily option available. I'm not a big proponent of silver, gold, any of that kind of monetary stuff. I'm more graded in skills and commodities and like grains. So, I mean, I have access to all sorts of acreage of wheat, corn, beans, all that sort of stuff, all in varying different abilities to for usability, like grinding down wheat and so on and such forth. Now the other question here, number 3, would be bug out or dig in. And I gotta be honest with you, my initial response, ooh, that's a lot of black. My initial response, oh, we got a little person. No, you can have the last orange, Lulu. Okay, just set it on the counter, sweetheart. Night night. That is my youngest. So cute, but she likes big guys with beards and bikes, so good I have guns. So the third question is, if bug out or dig in. My actual response would be definitely to dig in. I have a lot of people depending on me. We're building quite a complex here, and we're actually looking at kind of building a teaching school, which kind of leaves me a little bit vulnerable for eventually people will know where I'm at, and if you're very astute, you can actually lock me down as to where I am. But don't put that on the internet. I'd really appreciate it. But I am definitely a bug in kind of dude. We have a lot of resources here. We've gone to a lot of steps. We've planted a lot of orchard trees. I have quite a bit of livestock programs out here that are going to be expanding in the next few years. A greenhouse is going up. Solar power is going in. Wind power is going in for several of these external operations. So we're definitely a bug-in family and a bug-in group. Now the fourth question is, what environment would you like to be in? Well, I'm pretty rural, and I'm a big proponent of work with what you know. So my rural area is where I would want to be. Now there's a lot of woodlands, which is mostly what you'd really call ditch runs on steroids, large tracts of land that are blank, farmland, with large groupings of small bushes, ditch runs in between, that you've got multitudes of deer, rabbits, wild turkey, all sorts of... Apparently there was like a marten running across my driveway the other day. I'm going to trap that little bugger sometime, but just so he doesn't eat my chickens. But that's where I'm most comfortable, and we do have some... I'm not that far from some semi-urban areas, but we're talking towns, not cities. There is what you would call a city within a 20-minute drive for me, going slow, and I would actually be comfortable in having to raid that area if I had to. But to be honest with you, I would leave that alone for at least 6 months if it was the worst case scenario. I would leave that area alone for at least 6 months, because the idiots are going to kill themselves. The idiots are going to run themselves out of food. A lot of people are going to starve themselves in days as opposed to weeks because of how they're going to treat themselves. That's just how it goes. I mean, the human body can last a long time without food, but not in today's society. You're looking at, even if someone had water, they'd starve themselves out within a week because of how we're used to feeding ourselves en masse. We're not used to denial. And, you know, I'm the same as any other semi-rural area and semi-suburban area. There's a massive drug problem close to me. I am not really affected by it. That might have something to do with I'm kind of... I wouldn't know if I don't know if you'd say it's respected or feared, but basically I don't get screwed with for any of the druggies, junkies, jerks, idiots. Mostly because of things I've done in a previous life. And I get left alone. So even people who hate me and know exactly where I am, stay the hell away from me because they know exactly who I am. But, so I'm comfortable in my area, and I would not want to be anywhere else. Now, what 3 skills do I have for SHTF? Now, due to what I do every day, I would have to say, just in general, my farming, labor skills, and understanding how different parts of the farm work, different livestock programs. I mean, anyone who's watched earlier episodes, they know that I did massive breeding for animals. I used to be a conventional pig farmer. Currently, I'm conventional grain farmer, working for a conventional grain farmer. I do most of what I do for myself is all small scale organic stuff. But so I would say just the sheer massive knowledge on that scale is something I have. Now, I'd kind of wrap that into one skill. Another skill I have is I actually have a wonderful ability to read people quite well. Again, anyone who's watched an earlier episode might know that I prefer the term ejection technician for a very long period of time. And I'm not in the roughest area, but pretty rough area. And I did it on and off for over 10 years, well over 10 years. And I can honestly say that I have punched 5 guys. That's not to say that I haven't aggressively moved people out of an area. More than that, but I have actually only had to physically go out of my way to harm someone 5 times in well over 10 years. And I've got a lot of hours behind the bar and by the door. So I know how to read people. I can see people going to punch me long before they even realize they're going to punch me. I can see different things happening long before it's going to happen. People call it as... A friend of mine called me psychic, and I went, nope, don't believe in that crap. I just know how to listen and learn and look. And if you can learn that, people, it's an amazing skill. So that would be my skills there. Oh, was that 2 or 3? Well, I don't know. My other skill is just sheer organization with the people I deal with. Now, my last ones are kind of difficult. Name several YouTubers you would have with you. I don't trust any of you, so I wouldn't have any here. I'd just have my brothers that I have with me here.